Thank you very much for coming. I'm thrilled to be able to present to you today. I think I actually have an introduction slide. Let's see if this works. Here we go. This is me. I'm Rosie. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Nibble. Nibble is an AI platform, and it's the only one in the world that can negotiate. But more than that, it can negotiate and make you smile. So, before we get too deep into this, my background actually, I used to be in finance. I spent 20 years negotiating deals on behalf of multinational clients like Tesco and Unilever. I even did a deal for Jimmy Choo. That was probably my most fun one for anyone who likes their shoes. And then, I went back to school and met my co-founder, and we've built Nibble, and we've been doing that since 2020. We have about 200 clients using our platform to automate negotiations between them and their customers. But before we go much further, just for a little bit of fun, if I talk about negotiations, what was the last thing any of you negotiated on? A sock. A sock, that's, but I bet they gave it to you free, right? It's really interesting, actually. Free is actually a really powerful thing in negotiations, and actually we as humans are programmed to misprice free. And you know this as e-commerce and marketing professionals. If you give something away for free, people tend to overvalue it. It's very interesting. Those socks, you think they're amazing, right? Anyone else had a negotiation recently? Yeah? A business negotiation to get to a business-to-business, a contract negotiation, yeah? Yeah, a lot of people talk about their salary, right? Like, and when you think about negotiations, who hands up if you like negotiating? You have to, you work for me. We do find that people are very shy about negotiating. It is a bit of a cultural thing. I find in the UK, maybe fewer people say that they like it. Often in other environments, it's about 50-50. But when people negotiate with a computer, 85% say they prefer the experience. They feel safe. There are many places where chatbots are good. Maybe negotiation and embarrassing health problems, it's the same world, right? So for my objectives for today, and I'm very happy to have it interactive. You might have to shout a little bit, but I'm very happy to take questions. I think it's important to feel safe about negotiating with your customers. I think a lot of us are like running an e-commerce website. You have a fixed pricing. You worry that haggling with your customers might not be good for your brand. You worry that it might open the floodgates. Secondly, know when it's useful and when it isn't. And thirdly, understand how this should be treated in the world of ethical AI, because you are using an AI to do a very human-like behavior, and it gets you very, very close to interacting like a human. And for example, it's very, very important, in my opinion, that the human who is interacting with the AI knows they're reacting with an AI, right? Like they don't think they're talking to one of your customer service reps. So, Firstly, has anyone seen a website like this lately? Where you go to the website and you can barely shop it for the number of pop-ups and discounts and special offers. And this is where many of our conversations start. We've got 200 clients around the world, and many of them say to me, Rosie, it feels like a race to the bottom. I know I need to discount and promote occasionally to meet sales targets or to clear inventory, but it's got too much. You can hardly shop my website. So, to show you what we're thinking about, I'm going to show you a user using our AI negotiation. It's about a minute video, and it's much, much easier for you to see this user negotiating with a computer than for me to explain it. So 1 minute, and then I'll be back. I'm hoping he's going to play. I'll try and hit it on here.
So I'm buying some shorts online, and you can negotiate now? Let me show you. I've never seen this before on a website. So you see these shorts here, original price are $69.50, and I see this button here, and it says negotiate price. Automatically, they already dropped it to 52, so I'm just gonna start typing stuff. Why not? Like, why would you not hit that button? Okay, they already dropped it to $47. I have never seen this before. We're definitely on the same page, but that's not quite enough. How about something like 47? I said no can do, baby. I think it's easier to negotiate online than a real person. Negotiating in real life is hard, but online, I can do this all day. I'll do this for like 20 minutes, easy. She's quite sassy. The strategy you're trying really isn't going to work. They're hitting me with that this is going towards a mental health organization to make me feel bad. Oh, they've increased the price, I think. Oh, they lowered it a little bit by 5 cents. What is this? Why is this? I said, how about final price 45? And just like that, I guess I got $70 shorts for 45 bucks. Let's go technology. I love this. This is great.
So perhaps a light-hearted example, but he really enjoyed it. And we're all about engagement, and we're all about bringing some joy into the online shopping experience, but doing it in a savvy, smart way, and trying to create that win-win outcome. So thinking about what you saw there, I'm not sure if the clicker's working anymore.
So I'm buying some.
So what did you really see there? So you saw 3 things that are highly established in negotiation theory. And actually, we work with a senior advisor who is a professor of negotiation at London Business School. He has a TED Talk. And if you come and see me afterwards, I'll show you the TED Talk. It's got 2 million views. It's absolutely brilliant. But if any of you have been on negotiation training, you know that this is a skill that you can get better at. It is not something you are just born with. It is something that you can train yourself for, and you can get better. And you don't have to be some hostile FBI-style negotiator. You can be yourself. You can do it with a smile. But there are certain techniques that are very, very powerful in negotiation. And I've just highlighted 3 on the page, and I'm going to show you how these real-world negotiation techniques, which, by the way, if you want a pay rise tomorrow, you should deploy, are actually put into this chat experience on e-commerce. So firstly, active listening. You don't have a negotiation when people aren't ready, right? You want to listen, you want to understand, you want to have a meeting in the middle. We do not put this experience everywhere. This is not 70% off. This is not Black Friday banners. This is on an item that you want to clear, at a position on your product detail page where the customer has shown some form of intent. It could come in after a delay, or it could be only in the outlet section. So what we're trying to do is have a meeting of minds. We're not trying to throw this at the customer before they're ready, and we're trying to be available to them when they want to have a conversation. Next, anchoring. If there is one thing you remember from my talk today that you take away to your business career and your personal career, it's anchoring. Anchoring is the name we give to when you go first in a negotiation. So, if you are being considered for a promotion, do not wait for your boss to offer you what they want to pay you. You go in there first and you explain exactly what you are worth and what pay rise you deserve. There's huge amount of theoretical research and backing this up, that your outcome is most affected by this behavior. If you're buying a new house, the first offer price is the most important factor. In fact, they tried this out in a college room, and they got everyone to write down the first 2 digits of their national insurance number, and then they asked them to price some random items like a sofa, a vase of flowers, a box of chocolates. And even writing your national insurance number was seen to have a statistical impact on the numbers you put next to these random items. So this concept of anchoring, this concept of keeping the conversation where you want it to be. We A/B tested this, right? So we had, the B group had Nibble going, it's listed for $100, what price do you want to make? And the B test said it's listed for $100, but I could do it for $95 for you. And conversion increased 40% when we anchored the conversation around a price that we were happy with. I can't overstate this, and especially I'm speaking to some minorities. If any of you are female founders, female owners of businesses, people who need to negotiate to make yourself profitable, anchor your discussions. And then the last one is give reasons. So if you're queuing up for a bagel outside at lunchtime, and somebody comes up behind you and goes, "Can I go in front?" You say, "No, there's a queue." If somebody comes up and says, "I'm so sorry, I'm running really late for my talk. Can I go in front?" More of you will go, "Yeah, okay." It was a terrible reason. It did not justify them going to the front of the queue, but more people will give them the front of the queue. So when you give a reason, your argument is strengthened, and when you give a reason, you're in a much stronger position to reach agreement. And so in the context of an e-commerce, we do things like, we did this for an ethical coffee brand, and they said, "I can't offer the kind of discounts you see in the supermarket because we pay our farmers a living wage." We were acting for a second-hand mobile phone company, and actually the owner of the business came up to me at a conference, said, "I love your technology, but we work on really thin margins. I don't think we can use it." And so we wrote them a brand value statement that said, "Don't forget we work on thin margins, and to get you the best possible technology, which is guaranteed for 2 years, we can't offer those big discounts." And even that, it just shows people that you're being honest and you're being honorable in the conversation, and they're much more likely to go, "Yeah, okay, all right, well, we've got to the end of the line, I guess it is a good deal," and they will agree. So that's how you get those technical negotiation techniques into an e-commerce, and then the result is a happy customer, and it's not to be underestimated, that smile, right? Like, it is really not to be underestimated. But the clearance price normally of this sort of item might be $25. And we managed to agree a deal at $45. And this is typical for our customers, that they are over-discounting. They are massively over-discounting, particularly on clearance stock. So on any single item, we probably made a $20 extra spend, extra profit per item. And the normal daily sales, let's say they were about 100 units. Because of that level of engagement and that level of enjoyment, you see a much higher conversion rate. So you both see the benefit in the conversion rate and you see the benefit in the margin. So in this worked example, you see $2,400 of extra profit. This is true across all of our 200 clients. So just to give you some of the data that we've seen in the last quarter, this blue dot represents the price that the customer asked for when they came to the website. So, for example, in consumer electronics, when they came to the website and they engaged with Nibble, they said, "Can I have a sort of 14% discount?" That's what they were looking for. And then the green dot shows what they agreed and where they purchased. And so this is what we call the value of a negotiation. This is the value of having a conversation, and this is why it's so good for your margins not to use those blanket discounts and to try something much more targeted. So when is this technology useful? We see it in 3 buckets. So we see it very useful for stock clearance, where often I think you are often just saying, "Oh, I need to get rid of it. This stock is now costing me money." And then you put it all down to 50% off or 70% off, and you see a very low level of engagement in that outlet section of your website. The second place we see it is very high-ticket items, very discretionary items. We do a lot in consumer electronics and a lot in furniture. But there's one example I like where they sell tents for camping trips, right? And I'm not big into tents and camping, but I understand it's a highly considered purchase. And you look at lots of different tents and you make lots of comparisons. And they did a CRO analysis, a conversion rate optimization analysis, and they worked out that most purchases happened between the 4th and the 6th page visit. But that's when the drop-off happened. So they don't show Nibble in the first 3 page visits, but they do show them in the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Because at that stage, the last thing they want them to do is leave the brand and go to Amazon. So just to give you a few examples, so in home appliances, this is where your Google Shopping needs to be targeted at your best value for money items. But once they come to the website and they start browsing those more expensive items, we can offer a 1%, 2%, 3% nudge, just a tiny discount on, let's say, an £1,000 item. And what this is saying is, vous hésitez. Are you waiting? What are you waiting for? And it comes in from the side after a delay, because this page is full of information. So you want to give people time to read the information. And this is going back to the active listening point, you know? We don't want to throw this at someone before they have a chance to read the information, but once they have, this is really helpful. So we did 10% increase in average order value because we were only doing that on the higher value items, and 20% increase in conversion. I'm going to go a bit quicker because you can come and ask me about these at the end. In the mattress industry, it's a brutal industry, the mattress industry, very price-led. And here they're reevaluating their approach, and they're just directing some of their traffic towards Nibble, and some of their traffic that's come from affiliate links, it goes to a different set of special offers and discounts. So it's about making sure that you offer the deals that you can afford in the most cost-effective way. And you make the integral to the website. So you can see the color is different, make us an offer, the text is different, it's all on brand. And they made substantial margin savings by just being much more thoughtful about where they put those promotions. And then in B2B, we sell pharmaceutical capsules for a North American brand called Capsuline. And they were losing sales by not being able to answer the phone out of office hours. So they actually use Nibble to tackle their international orders when they come from overseas. So would you like a better price? Would you like to negotiate? And this is on bulk orders. This is on large ticket items. And then my last example is in networking equipment. And the reason this is interesting is they have certain rebates and deals from their suppliers. So they have a permanent negotiation section on their website that their regular customers come back to, but it has a different set of products in it depending what they've got supported from their supplier rebates. And they had some really cracking results, actually. 27% conversion uplift. So how do we do this, and why should you trust us to talk to your customers, which is really hard? So we are the most experienced negotiation agent in the world. We've done 1 million transactions, 1 million negotiations to date. That database is not just a vanity metric. It means that basically everything we do, we can A/B test it, we can test it against what we've seen in the past, and we are constantly learning. And you know, even down to occasionally we print out a negotiation that didn't go very well. And we take it to Professor Niro Sivanathan, who's the senior advisor I mentioned earlier, and we go, Niro, if this person was in your class at London Business School, what would you have recommended that Nibble do differently? How can we program the behavior to more reflect a truly expert human negotiator? And so that's exactly, and we do that all the time on repeat. We're very proud of this, very passionate about this, very happy to talk in detail about how you deliver that. And then the last point I'm going to talk about is we do use generative AI. We use it in a very specific way. We call it atomic. And so basically, if somebody says, hey, it's my birthday, can I get it for 80? The generative AI will read the have I got it on my birthday and give you a friendly and empathetic response like, hey, happy birthday. But the can I get it from 80, that goes to our fixed copy database and our fixed algorithms database. So we don't give away a margin that we're not allowed to give away. And if any of you is technical minded, I can take you through exactly how we've managed to, if you like, splice generative and fixed copy into this chatbot. But one thing it is not is a wrapper for ChatGPT. It is our own technology. And that brings me on to the last point. If any of you are using these generative AI technologies, and this is completely off slides and just my personal crusade, it's know what you want to use them for and know what you stand for. One of my most proud moments since we set up Nibble is we sat in a room with all our development guys and we said we're now going to need the OpenAI prompt. So we're going to need to prompt ChatGPT for our business, if you like. So we opened it up to the floor and we said, so what do we need to tell ChatGPT to do or to not do? So we started with, well, it shouldn't be racist. It shouldn't be using illegal discrimination. And that's sort of, you know, this level. And then we went to the next level and said, actually, we want it to be friendly. We want it to reflect our brand, you know? And there was a whole level of prompting around what does that mean and how do we get that right. And then there was another level, which is funnily enough my personal crusade, and I heard it back at me, was we should all make sure that Nibble isn't it. Because on a personal note, I'm completely fed up with AI agents being subservient women. You can have a subservient women if that suits your brand values, but it doesn't suit mine. And so from that point of view, you just need to make these decisions. And we're all senior leaders in our organizations. And these things are all happening today, now. Nobody's going to regulate you. There's no policy. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to happen in your team, in your community, immediate to you. And so this is nothing to do with my Maximise conversion with AI negotiation. This is just a plea that you think about how you're using these sorts of technologies, and you put these policies very close to your culture and your brand values. It won't be right for everybody, right? Like, it'll be different things. But the easiest way to think about it is sit with your team and say, if we were prompting ChatGPT to be one of our team members, what would be the overriding principles we gave it in all of its answers? So that's just one piece there. If you want any help designing that in your organization, it's not my expertise, but it is my passion. So you are very welcome to come and talk to me about it. And I think we are there. So she hoping. If you've got any questions about our technology or our solution or how we might be able to help you, we have an extremely minute stand exactly all the way the other end of the organization, or come and find me afterwards, or my colleague Tim is sitting in the third row and he has a black t-shirt on with AI negotiation on the back, and you will be able to find him that way. And I thank you very much for your time. I know you had lots to choose from today, and I am humbled and flattered that you chose to have it here. Thank you very much.